Hello, this is Joey V, and for those who don't know me, you can check out my tracks on record labels such as Detox Records, Mondo Records, Nucleus, among many others. What I'm going to be doing today is breaking down one of my latest productions, which I've entitled Joey V Alone, and I'm going to be going through some of the features of the track, but basically combining it with a requests section that I've done on my Facebook fan page. So I'm basically going to be answering questions directly. Now, before I start on all this, because it's my first tutorial, I'm going to need a lot of support from everyone. Now that means sharing it on social media sites, rating it, commenting on it wherever you see this video. And because of that, I'm first going to send you through all my websites. So first of all, we've got Facebook, which is my main one. I'd really love it if you come join me here. It's facebook.com/official Joey V, and oh my god, there's a little photo of me there, look. And let's get rid of that. There's also Twitter if you prefer Twitter, which is twitter.com/official Joey V, my website, which is joeyv.co.uk, and YouTube, which is youtube.com/Joey V 1985, and that's because some punk took all the good Joey V titles. So if you can get involved on all these websites, that would be great. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is quickly show you the track so you know what we're working with. So let's give it some welly and let you check it out. So far you can get the gist of that typical trancey pluck. Let's go forward a little bit to the build up and just where it kicks in. So that's what we're working with. Okay, so moving on. Another reason why it's good to come to Facebook, which is my main place if you like, is not only a good place to get my tour dates and exclusive music and videos, it's also where I'm going to let people know when I'm about to make a tutorial, and you can ask and request for what you would like to see, such as down here, which I'll go to in a minute. And Joe Sweeney's new one has just popped up, asking me about how I do some stuttery effects and so on. I'll get back to that one at some point. So yeah, let's open this up and plough into the first request, which is about replacing sweeps. He doesn't like the standard trancey builds and crashes and so on because they're pretty dull and well overused. Well, in this track here, I've actually used no crash and no actual sweep. To do a build up, I've used a filter on the master with a high pass, and as it builds, the reds goes up as well, so that it gets very piercing, I guess the best way to explain it. And the white noise has got no automated filter on it, it's just the same noise rolling over and over and over, filtered right up with a bit of a spike on the res, so that it's again quite a piercing sound. And sidechained and got reverb on it as well. So let's solo it and have a listen to it. That's pretty much all it is. And you'll also hear filter work going on in the build up here when I play it here. So let's unfilter it, turn it up a little bit. Go. Okay, so we've covered Josh Jett. Next one down, we've got Jay, who's asking about mastering. That seems to be pretty popular, so I'll do that one at the end. We can keep going down. Jack Horvath, just the whole thing, mate. so he wants to know everything about everything, so I'm sure he'll be happy. And we can go a bit further. Simon Laserboy Dressler, bassline tutorial. Right, yeah, so this was pretty much expected by me. I knew I'd have to do a bassline one, so I'll do a quick one. By the way, this is by no means a full tutorial. There's nowhere enough time to do a tutorial on every aspect of this track, so it's going to be a quick look at every aspect, and I'll do future tutorials if I get enough support with this. So let's have a look at the bass line. So let's solo it first. There. So it's ripping, it's big, it's beefy, and it's wide. Now the way I've done that is I've grouped together 4 separate synths. All of them are silent. The sub is basically just a sine wave, that's all it is. That's all that is. We've got a low saw, which is a basic saw that I made just with some distortion, and the EQs at the lower end of the spectrum. And then we've got the same saw, but this time it's a little bit sort of a bit more tinny, so it's less low in it, and I've spiked up the little res here. So, and then we've got this one which is detuned and very wide, and because it's wide I've knocked out quite a lot of the low, and this just gives the whole bass line a lot of width. And together. And that's that. Right, so we've taken care of the bass line. Let's move on. We've got Patrick Zor Gromko. I'm sure I'm pronouncing these names wrong. He wants to know about mastering. I've said I'll get back to that one at the end of this tutorial. Alex wants a bass line as well. Adam is saying, how do I make my kicks? I can't make them for boop, and it's just ah. I mean, that guy's going mad. He's mental. He's going to kill someone soon. So I'm going to work on that kick immediately. So let's go to my kick drum here. Play it. Right, you can ignore that. I don't know why I've kept it in there. The side chain, this is basically just a trigger to set the side chain, so that's just muted, you can't hear it. The only 2 kicks I've got is this, which is low, and this, which is punchy. So the punchy one I've cut down very, very short. As you can see, the sample is short. Cut out the low end, giving it a spike where it clicks. And the way I do that is simply by pulling up on the EQ and then do a filter sweep or a spectrum sweep, or whatever you want to call it, until I find a nice clicky sound, and then just reduce it a little bit. And filter is just there for transition points. Let's go to the big beefy kick. And this one is a little bit longer on the tail. I've dropped down the spike here because I've brought up the same frequency on the snare, because they hit at the same time, so I don't want them to clash. So that's why I've done that. And also a good tip for you is always tune your kicks so they sound good together. I've tuned this one up by 2. Depends on what DAW you use, but on Ableton is on the sampler down here. I've turned up 2 notes because that's when it started to sound good. So just literally just play about the notes of the kick until you get a decent sound. Just trust your ears. And the other tip I can say is never just think a kick is okay and leave it at that. Flick through every single kick you have until it sounds great. You know, sometimes I've spent hours just flicking through kicks just until I get the right one, and when it sits right, you will know it sits right. Right, so we want to see what's next. Neil Archibald wants to know how to make a lead off the track Bomb that I made. I'll have to get back to that one, Neil. Sorry, mate. I've only got time to bust through one track, but you know, I'll at some point. Scotty just wants to know things about things, so he'll be happy with anything, I'm sure. Giancarlo Campisi wants to know about percussion. Let's have a look. Let's solo my percussion. Yeah, so this is my percussion. Now, with percussion, I'll have to do a separate tutorial really going through all of this, but I've used a few loops. Let's show you them. Just the hi-hats, just mid-range perk and low perk. The idea of percussion really is to cover all frequency